Hi, Dave. David Likes Photography. I'll show you how to download pictures from your card reader. In this case, you can do it in, I have CS5, Photoshop CS5 open here in Bridge, but it also works in Photoshop Elements. If you go to the organizer, it works pretty much the same. In the organizer, you would go to the File menu and go to Get Photos from Camera, and it opens with this photo downloader. What we're going to do is use the advanced feature by hitting this button down the left bottom corner. Okay, we'll select the card, in this case my Canon DC card, and we'll see the images. I have 3 images I took on a golf course. Now, the folder you want to open these in, if you don't use pictures, which is a typical Windows folder, you can use browse and go to any folder you want. I suggest you make a subfolder. In this case, you can make it the subfolder name be a year, date, year, month, day thing, or you can make a custom name. In this case, I'm just going to name it so I kind of have an idea. I'm just going to call it golf course pics. Okay, golf course pics. And then the nice thing about the Bridge is, or I'm sorry, the downloader, which is in both Bridge and Elements, is you can rename the files. And so I also use a custom name here. In this case, I go for, it's 2010, I use 10- month, which is September 09. It happens to be the 9th day, so that's 09. And then I use an underscore. And then let's say I have 3 pictures for this day. I start with a 1, and it'll sequentially number them. I recommend that you preserve the file name, clicking that. The nice thing about what you don't get in Bridge, or I'm sorry, Elements, is you don't get this save copies to, which is nice. You can save them to a separate, it'll actually save to 2 locations at the same time. But in this case, you don't have that in Elements. But they both have this apply metadata, and in this case, I want to put in the metadata as a creator my name, Dave Likes, and you can put copyright on your images. So in this case it would be L. David David Likes Photography. And you could just put your own name as a copyright in both, and the nice thing about that is you'll be able to, wherever those images are, there's a copy of the metadata of your name on them, so you can see if you can have proof that they're your images. You can select, it'll select all images. If you only want to select one, you just uncheck the check boxes. Another nice thing, if you're using Bridge in CS5, is you can uncheck everything down here. You can either check all or uncheck, but you can come up and just say they're all unchecked, and I just select, just say 2 boxes. If I right click, it'll check the selected, the 2 I selected, which is really a big time saver if you're using Bridge and you only want to download certain images. Say you only downloaded half the card, and then later on you wanted to download the other half. That way you don't have re-downloaded copies on top of copies. So okay, we're going to download all 3, and they're going to be renamed. Okay, we got everything set here, so we just go and get photos. And so now we look for, okay, in our directory, and here we have the golf course pics, and if we double click on that, there we have our pics, and you can see they've been renamed. And the nice thing about this is as long as you do a a different day, you know, and you just keep number sequence per day, every file you have will have a different number, and that's what I use. You can use keywords and you can use all kinds of different things, but that's what I use. This is what I use as a professional. And if we come over here in the metadata preview, you can see here's the file name that we changed it to, but it still has the original file name, which is nice if you ever have to go back and figure out what the original file name is for. And that's my tip. I'm Dave, L. David Likes Photography. Thanks for watching.